guys for tuning in to Noise Rot TV. We have another interview. This is actually the second one we're doing in a short amount of time, but I'm stoked because I've seen this band for quite a long time now and going through like all the shifts and everything, and just the music that has been created and the progress is so awesome to see in like real time. But today we have Lilac Kings. What's going on, guys?
What's up?
Hey,
Yeah,
thanks
joining
for
us.
having us, OC.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for making the time, man. I really, really appreciate it.
Hmm.
But yeah, like what really stemmed uh trying to set this up. I mean, we've obviously like seen each other and talked like before, but the new music that's been dropping, and you guys just recently like dropped the latest single, which is Damn Daniela,
Hmm.
with Izzy from A Marionette,
Yep.
which awesome song. But I guess what I really want to jump into is obviously like every single that's come out so far has had like a feature on it, and the thing I noticed on this one is that the album cover is the one used for the single this time, and it said what did it say? It said for and by friends.
Hmm.
That's kind of what I was curious about, also because it said like side A, so like I
Yeah,
want to know what the kind of mission is with these like releases.
sure. Yeah. So, truth be told, by the time everything was said and done with the record, we had 17 tracks. So,
Wow.
it's a little too much to just kind of drop 17 tracks. And there's a little bit of strategy to it as well. Granted, it is 17 tracks. About four of them are like interlude type tracks.
Mhm.
So let's see, there's like maybe like actually like 13 real like full songs. And so we have it split up. We're doing like a side A and a side B. And one of the strategic elements of doing it that way is like per release you get three target tracks, right? Like for like a record, right?
Okay.
So if we were able to split it into side A and side B, like technically that is uh two separate records.
Okay.
Um and we get like three target tracks per each. So we'll get to have three singles for each one that drops. I'm sorry about my camera. I don't know why it's doing that.
It's for emphasis. It's adding
It's
drama to
wild, dude.
it. I'm telling you, I was freaking out. I was like, literally thought you had a camera person when
I
we
I
first like got on
literally
this.
I literally don't know how to turn it off.
It's all right.
But yeah, so we'll get three target tracks for side A and then three more for side B. And then once side B comes out, then it will, I'm told it should magically connect to side A as well.
Okay, like when you go look it up, it'll all be under.
It'll all be together, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that is like a big like thing when it comes to releasing singles and having them like pile on together later.
Yeah,
Because like
yeah.
that's the thing that happened. Like more new songs come out, like cool. Like I want to listen to them all together, but they're all like in separate like little like their
Yeah.
own little folder record, and it makes it a little difficult. But I like that that's been more commonplace like these is where now it actually does set up to where like every time a
Yeah.
new song comes out you can listen to all the new ones under the
Right.
same like single. Yeah. So that'd be cool. But yeah, like I honestly like I like the way that you've been like doing this release schedule like
Mm.
with these singles. um One, because they all like have a similar style and like cover arts, and
Mm.
I do like the explanation. Like this song is, this is a song about I think the first one like resistance. This is a song
Yeah.
about like
Yeah.
It's cool because,
um
like Dylan was saying, I mean, 17 songs is a lot to, just kind of drop. So doing it this way, we really get to kind of take time with each one that comes out and have a meaning for it and have, versus just having a bunch come out at the same time and people, kind of listening to maybe the front half of the album or going to like the top songs or anything like that. It's like everybody can kind of get a real taste, especially with the different sort of genres and different ways we've, gone about making different songs on the album. I feel like there's a lot of diversity in there and there's a lot to, kind of highlight as time goes on and we, have each one come out.
yeah, I mean you work on like I said 17 tracks. That's a lot of like music to work on like for an
Mm.
album, and you want to make sure the most people get to pay attention to it. Like it's hard work that you guys put into it. So and yeah, that's why like release strategies have been like, I think like absolutely essential. Like when if you're working on a project, like you need to have some way that you're going to do things, like some way that's going to get like things are going to get released. Why is this releasing with this? Like what else is coming out with this song? Like it's, I feel like it's a heavy part of the game now, but like it's a necessary one, especially like in the landscape of like how everything is. How do you guys feel about having to kind of create content to go with your music?
Content is it's kind of it's a nice thing to do, but it really it's been something that I've been trying to focus on getting better at. Because it's something that's very foreign to me, just like the online presence, the sort of interconnectedness, versus I'm sort of a introverted person just off the bat. So that's something that's been, kind of a growing experience for me, even just being in this band and sort of getting to connect with more people and make content, make stuff like that around releases or just in general. But Dylan,
Yeah, it's a love hate relationship for sure. I like the ability to kind of have another like a window into the band, like it kind of shows us from a different perspective. It kind of shows a different like layer of creativity. Um, but also it can be like very demanding.
Yeah.
And as we know, like the way that some of these like platforms work, some things are just very hit and miss. And sometimes it feels like, where if I release a song, then I know that at the very least, like our core audience is going to hear it, right?
Mm.
But like if we release something that's like a video or some kind of like piece of content that we spend a lot of time working on, not everybody might see it, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of the exhaustive part of it. But yeah, I have qualms against it for sure. But I try to be as positive as possible and adapt as much.
Yeah, I definitely think if you like cater it to like who you are as a band,
Mhm.
and it's just tough because like the not the easy, but I think the what most people see is like, oh, like everybody's doing this sort of thing, so we have to do it, like the trend
Mhm.
stuff, things like that, which can be fun, like to do as a band. But I think finding your own ways to do it, like even like in your music videos and stuff like that, like
Mhm.
I know for Daniela, you had the what is it? I literally had to. I was dumb. I'm like, what does A and B stand
like
for? And I'm like,
FMV.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, yeah. I was like, what
Yeah,
does that stand for? And I'm like, wait, I can kind of piece that together.
yeah, yeah,
But that was sick. Like, that's a cool way to show not only like the music, but also like this is an interest that the band has. And I think
Yeah.
that's
yeah,
what more people like kind of get into is like, oh, like they like this stuff like too. Like, what I mean? You don't always assume,
yeah.
you know, whatever band like what do they do in their spare time, and it's kind of just
Right.
combining that like those two likes into
You
something.
know, Michael and I are both pretty big anime guys. And then also like the same with like video games. Like we play a lot of like JRPGs and stuff like that.
Mm.
Caleb is the odd man out on that one, but now that you mentioned that, like, I mean, maybe we should do some car related content for him.
Yeah.
Maybe honestly, if that's what he's into, like that's what I've seen. Like it's just the one thing I've noticed like across the board that again, and I am generalizing, but this is just going off what I look is as long as it looks like authentically, like it's real. Like
Yeah.
what do you like? What doesn't make sense? Even if it doesn't like I think the biggest hindrance is you trying to figure out like, oh, what do people want to see
Mhm.
from us?
Yeah.
More in the fact of just like, what do I want to do and see, and that way you actually have fun while you're making the stuff that you're
Yeah.
making for your band,
Hmm.
which will make it more consistent. Like, oh, I like doing this, cool. Even like I saw the little like the skit that y'all did for like limbs. And I
Yeah.
thought that was fucking hilarious. That
We
was like
laughed at
great.
it, but we were both feeling that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was great. That's one thing that I like personally like yes, I will make a joke out of anything, and I'm like that's because that's what I normally do like in my life. I'll make
Yeah.
anything funny. So that's
Yeah.
how I do like promo for shows and things like that. But yeah, so um yeah, the going back to the music. First of all, like you have put together like this um this group of like guest vocalists like on these singles that literally every time like I love like it's such a good it just makes sense because like I think if people like Lilac Kings like they're going to listen to every other of these like vocalists that you've put on, so it's
Mhm.
very like strategic
Yeah.
in that way. But how did like was it very easy to make a list? Like do you know like who you wanted to work with? Is this just I mean you guys have been around for quite a while, so like you've gotten to know so many people.
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't so much strategic. I mean, I guess it's strategic in the sense that like we went for people that we knew. Um, there were a couple of folks that we reached out to that we didn't know as well at the time. Um, some I can't mention yet because next release or next, well, yeah, next release, next
Off the record, we'll bleep it out.
IP. Yeah, and I feel like we've done something with most of these artists, like in some degree. We've played shows. I feel like with most of them, and have gotten to know most of them. And then if we haven't played shows with them, we know people really well that have or have toured with some of these other artists. Like, I mean, the circle is pretty small, um, but like we've gotten um, like a good amount of connections with like some of these vocalists. And so when we're writing a song or something, it was pretty easy and effortless just to be like, who would sound really sick on this song?
Yeah.
And then we were like, Izzy. Like Izzy sounds really. What do you guys think about putting Izzy on this song? And I mean, it was almost like that every time, where like the first thought of a vocalist was the one that stuck.
That's super cool.
Right. So I mean, and it wasn't even like we were writing the song to cater to that artist. Like it just made sense. It was very organic, and we kind of, in a sense, we kind of kept it in the family. Like as far as like the scene, like we didn't go too far outside of it,
Mm.
and we didn't really reach like way outside of it or way above it. Like we weren't going for like massive artists. Like I mean, granted, like Andy is very successful,
Yeah.
but we wanted it to be like more like I said, it's like for friends by friends. Like it's we wanted to work with our friends, and we wanted to release something that our other friends would enjoy, right?
Yeah.
So, and I mean, we want everyone to enjoy it for sure, but I think this record, for the first time, I won't say for the first time, but it's something that we really wanted to do for ourselves. You know
Okay.
what I mean?
Yeah.
There was a lot of growing for me personally over the last few years, where I was just like struggling with like this idea of success or this idea of progress, where like it doesn't necessarily move in one direction, right?
Mm.
Where like my idea of that success was like just going higher, like getting to the top, right?
Yeah.
And so like when that wasn't happening, obviously I was like very upset, like with myself, and like kind of depressed about it and thinking that I was failing and all this stuff. And it took a lot of like personal growth to realize that that wasn't necessarily the meter of success, right?
It's a hard way to look at it when and to try to continue when that's the way you're measuring like how you should
Yeah.
feel about your like I mean at the end of the day like that's your art,
Mhm.
like that's how you like put that like out, and it's kind of hard putting that sort of like metric on it. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm not like this successful, like I see. And then especially when you start like you said, like interacting with everybody like else, it's really easy to be like, oh well, they've they're doing this, and like, and
Yeah.
I've been doing that like
Yeah.
too. Like, why, like, why is it working for them or this and that, or
Yeah.
whatever. It's very easy to just be like, why do I keep doing it?
Hmm.
But I think most of the time, like, most artists come down to it, and like the main reason they do it is because you like doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You strip away everything else and you realize, like, okay, this is why I'm really doing it. So, and then at that point, I feel like your creativity can really blossom, right? I think that's
Yeah.
when you start making your best stuff. And that's how I feel about this record, is that it's the best stuff we've ever done. Because we made it how we wanted to make it. We made it sound like we wanted it to sound like, and it's not to say that we didn't do that before, but I mean, this was just like pure, like, satisfaction for ourselves, right?
Nice. Michael,
Like
how's
some,
your experience been?
yeah.
I mean, I I relate 100% with what Dylan is saying. Like, I think this stuff that we've been working on has been great. And I kind of see that, looking back. I feel like comparison, is the thief of joy. Like, it's sometimes great to step back and really just go, well, what do I want to see? What do I want to see on the album? What do I want to see with the songs? What kind of emotions do we, want to evoke with this stuff? And that's a place that I feel like we've been really successful with this album is because it has highs and lows on it. And I just feel like I'm stoked for more stuff to come out from it. Like Damn Daniela was one of my favorite songs
Yeah.
yet. So, and we've got some more that I think everyone will just love when they come. But yeah, overall, I've been happy with it. I've been happy with the process and, just kind of where we're going.
So how long have you been working on this? I mean, writing 17 songs isn't something that's super like easy and like time. Oh, it's very time consuming. So what's been like that timeline looking like?
Well, Michael, you came in around the end of 2022, right?
Yeah.
Um, and before that, it was maybe, I mean, in some form or fashion, like all of this stuff has been in the works since the end of 2020.
Wow.
Yeah, so like, I mean, a lot of these, it's no surprise that we have that many tracks, that much music, because it's been like the writing process has been going on for a while.
Okay. How does it feel though, like over the past like about a year, right? It's been since you guys have been releasing like all the singles, or a little, maybe a little over.
It's been over a year. Yeah, so we dropped the first one. Was it March,
I think.
Michael?
Um, I think it was a little before that. I would have
Yeah.
Yeah,
But like, how does that feel finally, like after, I mean, writing that for so long and finally getting to put this stuff out?
yeah. So I mean, it's really good. It feels really good. I mean, we kind of had a bit of a stutter step with the release process, which is why we had three singles come out last year,
Mm-hmm.
and now we're kind of getting the ball rolling again. So we had some distribution changes and some label changes and some stuff that was kind of like in motion that kind of just kind of got held up for a little bit. There really wasn't a lot we could do about it, but I don't think it hurt anything. Also, I mean, we get to release three different singles.
I was gonna say, like, I mean, that's it's kind of the game. And with 70 tracks, I mean, you have plenty left of like the album, like for people to
Mhm.
Yeah.
consume all together.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all it's gonna do is keep driving. Like, damn, they're still putting out like stuff off. Because like, what for me, like, I'm telling you, like, I'm going like, if you want to go like off of just like a fan who's like looking on the outside, I'm like, damn, I keep getting new shit like every like few months. Like, there's new like music, and there's still like more to come, like on an album. Like I said, when you're talking
Yeah.
about that, just gets me even more excited to be like, oh, there's going to be even more music, like,
Hmm.
in the following like few months, or like, whenever you guys decide to drop it. Yeah, that's it's an interesting game. But shifting kind of a little bit weird, and it kind of goes into, I know one of the songs, because like I said, all the songs kind of have your main theme like on the cover, like so people can kind of get the gist out of it with
Yeah.
the lyrics and stuff. But you guys do with Limbs, I know that I think that's the one that's like the song about it, addiction. But you guys do something at your shows that I think find really special, and I just kind of want to highlight it. But it's the offering of like you guys have like a little like supply like station
Yeah.
with like narc. What is everything like you guys have on there?
So we've got Narcan and we've got fentanyl test strips.
Yeah,
And Caleb is kind of more of the spearhead on that one because he works with addiction clients and recovery. He's like really involved in recovery. That's like his job, and he's also in recovery, so he's got a lot of passion for that, and we all do.
mm-hmm.
Uh, but that's really his mission, his personal mission. Like it's very um, integral to his like everything he does.
Yeah,
Uh, but yeah, we're all behind it 100%, and that's something that we really feel strongly about. And we always encourage everyone to come take some Narcan at least to have it on them. I mean, because like for instance, there was a time we were in Fresno on tour, and two of the guys ran back to the hotel while we were at the show
mm-hmm.
to pick up some stuff, and then they went by a store or something in a parking lot, and then there was literally a guy ODing in the parking lot, and
Whoa,
they just called 911. And I mean, but like we don't know if that guy made it or not, right?
mm-hmm.
But like if we had like a stash of Narcan on us, I mean, we could have Narcan the guy, right?
Yeah,
So I mean, anybody can be a hero in that instance. It doesn't mean that like having Narcan on you doesn't mean that you're an addict or anything like that. And even if you aren't an addict and you use recreationally, we still encourage everybody to get some
mm-hmm.
because like there's fentanyl in a lot of stuff now, which is also
Yeah,
the idea behind the test strips, right?
Yeah.
yeah. I love that so much. Not only just offering that, but also offering just like, hey, like again, like for me, like I remember, I think I saw you guys play at Rubber Gloves and y'all had it, and then
Mm-hmm.
I remember like being one of those persons like asking, like I had to ask somebody. I was like, what is like I was ignorant like on everything. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
like what is
yeah,
that? You know what I mean? Like why not knowing them? Like oh, that's something that could save someone's lives. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
even just like the educational
Uh,
part of it, like um again at people in your environments that you're in like you're playing shows and this and that. Again, like I'm one of those show goers that knew nothing about that, so now like I
yeah.
go through like my days knowing like okay, that's something that again could save someone's lives or like preventative stuff with that, which is really cool again in your own environment and your own scenes with people that you interact with at shows all the day. It's just
Mm-hmm.
that being
Yeah.
informative and making sure it just goes back into like the taking care of like your scene
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
mentality. And I think that's super cool that y'all do that and y'all like kind of show a little importance like to
Yeah,
that for people.
it's nice having something that we can give back, using that platform for, education like you were talking about, or for supplies that people otherwise wouldn't necessarily know where to get or think to get. So that's something, I mean, almost every show that we play, we have a little section where we'll talk about it being in the back and kind of let people know what's going on. And, that's been something that's really been important to Caleb, but also us. So I think that's awesome too.
Cool. Yeah, I definitely appreciate you guys for that.
Mm-hmm.
So like you guys did a quite a few like little runs like throughout the year and playing and stuff. I'm assuming you were playing some of that like new music live. How have you guys gauged like the reception like to you, or has it changed over like because like I said, you guys have been playing for a while as Lilac Kings.
Yeah.
So what have you guys seen change in like your receptions of like bands playing?
What do you think, Mike?
Um, I don't know. I mean, it all, I feel like it's been pretty well received across the board, but it's a little bit harder for me to say because I'm the newest member of the band.
Mhm.
So all this new stuff that we're playing and we play on the live sets, I can play a little bit better just because, I've written all the drums, done stuff like that, and I'm just, I'm familiar with everything that we play through our sets because I rehearse it. But on that stuff that I've helped with writing, I know where every hit is, stuff like that. But as far as fan reception, it's kind of hard to say. Like we generally get a pretty good reception for playing live, but it I'm not sure.
I feel like some of the new stuff that we are playing. I feel like that. I feel like the heavier stuff gets kind of a bigger reception.
Mm.
But I think it's probably because of the types of shows we play, the bands we're playing with. Usually, the heavier songs hit harder with those groups. I mean, it's just fun to get rowdy sometimes, you know.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, absolutely. And yeah, it's cool if you can get a crowd to move. Like, man, it's the greatest feeling. Like while you're up there.
yeah.
Um, but what is so right now? There is, like I said, the single just released,
Mhm.
and then do you guys have anything else like kind of planned for the end of the year, or is everything kind of coming into that new year?
We have a show coming up here in Tulsa in January. I believe it's the 16th. Do you know for sure, Michael?
I'm not sure. No, I'd
we're
have to check my calendar.
we're really yeah we require calendars for sure.
Believe me, yeah, I know that for sure.
It is the 18th, January 18th at Noise Town in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So that's our next show. But next release, we have a song coming out. Let me check again. I believe it's the 27th. Um, I'll have to double check on that.
This
But
month?
do what?
This month?
Yes, this
Oh
month.
shit.
There should be another one coming out this month with a music video, and it is called "Don't Go There," and it is with Andreas. I don't know if you
Yo,
know that
holy
guy.
shit. Okay, yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Like I said, these all just make sense. Like they're all in that same like vibe area. Like it's so
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah, and he killed it, and we were able to shoot a music video with him. We had a contact in Amarillo, a good friend of ours that shot the music video for us, and we flew Andreas in for that and just spent the weekend with him, and it was a blast. So,
Yeah.
so we're really
Yeah.
excited for that one to come out.
Yeah.
Don't go there. Don't
Yeah,
go to Amarillo. Except
don't
to
go
shoot
there.
music video. That's a thing. Well, that's fucking sick. I'm like I said, looking forward. Is there like so that's the next single out at the end of the month. And then when will do you have like a release date for like side A of like the album
Side A is supposed to come out in January. The whole thing will drop.
in January? Okay,
Mhm.
sick. That's super cool. And then
Yes,
it's crazy that there's another like there's a whole side B already like kind
yes.
of prepped and ready to go. That must be like so like frustrating though, like to want to have all that like on you. I'm going like on like how I would feel. It's just like damn, like
Yeah.
we have this. I want to just put it out, but having to
The
work through a release plan.
the biggest problem for me is like listening to it and then finding things to tweak,
Oh
and
no,
it's like just it's kind of too late, man. You know.
you
But we've
Uh,
gotta.
been sitting on it for so long. I'm like, you know what? I really would like to hear that guitar part a little more. Is there any way?
That is like I've seen a lot of songwriters like run into the issue, especially like if you like are into like mixing and doing all that. It's just like the endless tweaking and like figuring out like when a song is like done like for you, and that's like the struggle because not only like this writing the song, like when is the song done, like can we add something, can we take something away, blah blah
Right,
blah. And then when it comes to like actually like recording and mixing, like oh, okay, what needs to go where.
right.
But yeah, the I've seen the I've seen people with the endless tinkering. I was like, well, we can always like do this better. I'm like I'm terrible. Like Daniel DJ who runs Noise Route with me,
Mhm.
he's got a like I bring him up so much. I'm sorry, but like he's got a solo album that I keep
Uh-huh.
trying to pressure him to release. He's like, it's not done yet. Like it's
yeah.
it's been years, and I'm like, just put
Right.
it out. Like he's like, no, I can't. But yeah, I'm sure like because it's your own music, like it's very
Mhm.
easy to be like, I want it to be like what I picture it to be. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's that balance and that struggle between like when is it done and when can we move on from it, you
Mhm.
know. No, I'm super stoked, guys, for the new music. Every like single that has come out like has been phenomenal. And like I said, the guest vocalists have been amazing. I love like what you guys are doing, like on your live shows are fantastic. Like the way
Hey,
like you guys are super fucking tight. And again, like I've seen I mean, I've seen you from like the first like release, which was back in what 2017, because I remember
Yeah,
seeing you uh a few times. First time was a place called Reno's, but then I remember the Killers Tacos in Denton. I think you guys opened for Macari, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, that would have been
Uh,
a good one.
that
Yeah.
was a tour, yeah, and that,
Mhm.
I think that was like Andy's like first tour with
It
them or
was Andy's
something.
first time with them. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So like seeing that and like getting to see you like working on these, like I've seen you play with Animal Jam like a bunch of times. Seeing Nate on like a track is
Mhm.
so fucking cool. You know, Daisy, Izzy, and you know everybody on here, like it's super exciting. I love again the music that you guys are writing, and I am for sure like stoked. I'm pretty sure that everyone's gonna like love everything that comes out from this. I'm hope everything's been going good. If you guys need help with absolutely fucking anything, like
Mhm.
feel free to let us know.
Okay. Yeah.
Pushing stuff, like
Sure.
I tell people about you guys all the time, so like that helps, like the word of mouth stuff. And yeah, anything you guys need, like absolutely let me know. But
Thank you.
anything else you guys want
We
to?
we love working with you every time. The shows are always awesome. The shout outs are always awesome. So we really appreciate you and everything you do to help us out and to help out other bands and other people in the scene. It's really awesome what you guys do.
Yeah, man, appreciate that. We
Yeah.
like I said, we've all like either been in the scene for a long time or played in bands, and we're just like, you know what, it'd be nice to have some cool shit around here, and just it's just giving
Yeah.
back. It's literally just
Yeah,
giving back to like the scene that brought us up. That's all it
Right,
is.
right, right.
But yeah, I'm glad that like because of that, you know, because of just getting to know people and that going from seeing you guys to now like working with you guys and now like, you know, pretty much like, you know, having friends like with you guys is super cool. And again, like anything you guys need, let us know and we're big fans over here. So we're going to keep pushing and promoting y'all as much as we
Yeah.
can.
Yeah, likewise, man.
Absolutely, man. Well, I thank you again for like giving me a little time to talk to you guys today. And yeah, absolutely. It was a pleasure.
absolutely. Thank you for having us on, man.
Absolutely. I appreciate you guys. That was the interview with Lilac Kings. I'm a huge fan. I think I had a hard time talking just because like there's so much to talk about in that band. They're so talented. They're so good. They've been writing music for quite a long time, but this new stuff, honestly, like is just very captivating, very soulful. Like I feel like there's definitely like a maturity in the music, but you guys definitely need to check out new single at the end of the month on the 27th called Don't Go There with Andres. I think that's an exclusive. I haven't seen that anywhere else. So check that out and then listen to the everything that's come out. But the most recent single, Damn Daniela, featuring Izzy from a Marionette. Go, let's run that shit up. But thank you guys for tuning in to Noise Rock TV for another interview, and we will see you next time.
We're Lilac Kings.
You're watching Noise Rot TV.